So Morgan Stanley said that the metaverse could just be the next big thing. But just how big could it get? Because it certainly doesn't feel that way right now, with stocks like Unity Software, Roblox and Meta being down quite substantially in most recent weeks and months. But despite some fairly rocky stock market conditions which could be on the horizon, could investing into metaverse related stocks that help contribute to the metaverse ecosystem be the next big investment opportunity? Well, in today's video, we're going to be discussing the metaverse in a little bit more detail and just how over the course of the next 3 to 5 years that investing into the metaverse could provide an absolutely huge return on investment. But before we dive into it, guys, my name is Mitch. I post all kinds of videos on investing and the stock market. If you do enjoy content like that, hit that big red subscribe button down below. So I'll drop a like on the video, guys. It really helps out the channel. With that being said, let's dive straight into it. So whether you like it or not, Web 3.0 is absolutely on its way. The biggest tech companies on the planet, like Meta, previously known as Facebook, Microsoft, Google, as well as Apple, are all certainly placing a little bit of a stamp on the metaverse. And if they haven't done so already, they certainly will be over the course of the coming years ahead. And some of the technology in which is being developed could be absolutely life-changing. Meta platforms, with the use of their Oculus VR headset, have most recently come up and launched a mobile learning app for health workers battling the global pandemic. One of the training courses involves augmented reality to simulate on a smartphone the proper techniques and sequence to put on and remove PPE. It's certainly addressing real-world problems in the healthcare sector, and it's even gone one step further with another app that's been developed to allow you to perform surgery in the virtual world for all the trainee surgeons to learn their craft before practicing on a real-life individual. And when I think about the metaverse, more broadly speaking, I'm not necessarily saying that we're going to lose all kind of concepts of our physical reality. Instead, what I am saying is, when we're talking about the metaverse and technology like VR and AR, if we can use those concepts and those pieces of technology and all of the software that can be built around it to actually have a real world purpose and add real value to our lives in the real world, I think that, in my opinion anyway, is the best use and the main benefit of utilizing both VR and AR technology in the broader metaverse. It's certainly not just the case of having a little avatar run around an imaginary world like Decentraland. In actual fact, it's more about the real life applications that can be developed that will hold huge benefits to our real life. So with that in mind, I've been doing a little bit more digging on the internet to do a little bit more research about the overall metaverse thesis, if you like, and all of the benefits that surround it. So I actually stumbled across a white paper published by a company called Grayscale called The Virtual Cloud Economies, which was published just last month. So taking a step back for a minute and kind of taking a look at this paper, the metaverse, what is it and how exactly did we get here? Well, it's certainly been coined as the evolution of social connectivity, which has largely been driven by advancements in internet technology. We started out with Web 1.0 with basic search engines like Netscape back in the late 90s, which gave us the initial piece of online connection, followed by Web 2.0 with companies like Facebook in 2004, which has evolved over time to connect us with different online communities. So now we're talking about something called Web 3.0 with crypto-based decentralized metaverses like Decentraland as an example, which connects us to community-owned virtual worlds. And based on the exponential growth forecasts highlighted, the value captured for Web 3.0 could be absolutely huge between now and 2030. We've truly evolved over the course of the past, 20 years or so in terms of how we connect with people online. We've gone from writing lengthy posts on Facebook to consuming images over on Instagram to now consuming video content via TikTok and YouTube to now having an experience which can be completely immersive in one of these virtual worlds. The way in which we connect with people online moving forwards will be completely different to how it's been over the course of the past couple of decades. Because as we all know, most of our attention right now is geared towards digital activities. And according to this report from Grayscale, 1/3 of our lives, or 8 hours a day, is already spent watching TV, playing games, or on social media. And when you consider the average person sleeps for 8 hours a day as well, and probably has to work an 8-hour shift somewhere in there too, well, that leaves the only remaining 8 hours of spare time within our day, which we literally spend either on games, watching TV, or on social media. So it probably comes as no surprise that our social lives, as well as gaming, are now starting to converge in a fast-growing virtual consumer goods economy. It's estimated that the revenue generated from virtual gaming worlds could grow from $180 billion in 2020 to over $400 billion by 2025. Which again also doesn't shock me. As of right now, us as individuals who are very much into gaming, based on the Web 2.0 setup, are currently focused more on creating wealth over in these digital worlds, but it does have its drawbacks because you can't actually withdraw that wealth into that of your physical reality. Whereas in Web 3.0, this is where there is a whole new paradigm shift. It allows users to own their own digital assets like non-fungible tokens, trade them with others in-game, and carry them to other digital experiences, creating an entirely new free market internet native economy that can be monetized in the physical world. And it's really interesting to see just how many, not just individuals, but big companies that are continuously stepping into this space on a week-by-week basis, and also the millions and millions and millions of dollars that are being spent within this space as well. The latest high-profile company to get on board has actually been Adidas Originals, where they tweeted out just last week, "Today we leap into the metaverse with Bored Ape Yacht Club, G-Money NFT, and Punk's comic. It's time to enter a world of limitless possibilities," before then going on to change their profile picture to an Adidas Bored Ape shortly after. The metaverse in itself will be certainly more than just kind of your avid gamers wandering around a virtual world. These metaverses will have their own digital economies that could create and generate trillions of dollars in revenue every single year. Forget about the more traditional emerging markets which they'll teach you in business school, and perhaps focus a little bit more on the virtual emerging markets instead over in the metaverse. Because over the course of the next decade or two to come, there will be a developing mix of both digital products, digital services, and digital assets that will generate real-world value for its users. From art galleries to allow owners to showcase and sell their digital NFT art collection, to business offices where you've got companies like Binance and others who have established digital headquarters in the metaverse where employees can meet and collaborate at scale, games and casinos where players can win crypto tokens, advertising like digital billboards which have been built by property owners to advertise to game players for a fee, sponsored content such as the recently announced Atari Arcade, which will feature games that can be played within Decentraland, and finally music venues where DJs and musicians play music and hold concerts. The possibilities here are truly endless, and in actual fact, if you talk about the market capitalization of the Web 2.0 metaverse right now, we're talking figures upwards of $14 trillion. If you think about the possibilities of Web 3.0, which isn't run by centralized companies looking to make a profit, instead you have a completely new free market economy run by creators with an absolute limitless amount of potential. And due to that, we're talking about a market value for Web 3.0 that could far surpass that of Web 2.0, which, considering the Web 3.0 metaverse right now is only valued at $30 billion, that's well over a 500x investment opportunity that we could have on the table over the course of the next couple of decades. And due to that, I think the potential upside here is certainly something that shouldn't be ignored. We've got virtual land sales topping $100 million last week. We've got a Sandbox Super Mega Yacht NFT selling for a record $650,000. And we've even still got Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs still selling for over $350,000. So based on the amount of money flooding into the metaverse right now, and still considering the fact that we're still very early on in this whole kind of adoption of digital assets and the metaverse in itself, it is certainly something to pay attention to, especially if you're an investor that has the risk appetite to get involved. But I guess to caveat all of this, the one thing that I would say to underpin this whole video is a quote from Warren Buffett, which says, "Price is what you pay, but value is what you get." Now, of course, value in the virtual world right now is, of course, very subjective. Depending on who you speak to will depend upon the value which is placed on the digital assets in which are being acquired. Regardless, what I would say is whether it's an NFT, a digital piece of land, or even if it's a stock that contributes to the metaverse in itself, what I would say is be sure to do as much due diligence and research as you possibly can to truly understand the value in which you're getting for the price in which you're paying, and how that value can certainly grow over the course of the long term. So with that said, guys, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below whether the metaverse is something in which you're actively investing into, and be sure to let me know what you're investing into down in the comment section below too. And with that said, guys, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and with that being said, I'll see you over in the next video.